Hello, today we'll revise the concept of signals and systems. In today's class, we will discuss about the convolution representation of signals, different types of systems, LTI system, which is known as linear time invariant system, basic elementary signals, classification of signals, and review of signals and systems. Now, first we will discuss the convolution representation of signal. We have considered here xt, a arbitrary signal which is representing that its magnitude is varying with respect to time from t0 to t1. So we have taken a segment of a particular signal, time varying signal, which is a time varying electrical quantity whose magnitude is varying continuously, and we have shown by the dot lines a threshold value. Okay, so it doesn't have any importance in this representation, but sometimes we need to compare some magnitude with reference to the reference or threshold signal, because sometimes we need to extract the acoustic vibration, sometimes we need to extract the temperature from the ambient parameters. So at that time we are representing the electrical signals, and the signals will be important if it is crossing the threshold. So that is why the dot line is showing some threshold line. So here, as we know, the continuously varying signal is varying its magnitude with respect to time. So xt is representing such an arbitrary signal. Now we are going to explain how it could be represented as convolution of the same signal with an impulse train. In the signal representation below, we are seeing the same magnitude variation of the signal is represented by discrete pulse train. Now here, discrete pulse trains magnitude are varying. It is not constructed by seeing the time varying electrical quantity as shown above, but it is made convolution. That convolution occurred between the original signal and the unity magnitude pulse train. So let us consider unity magnitude pulse train which are equally spaced by the amount of time delta t. Then if that impulse we are considering at particular magnitude, say t equal to t0. Okay, so at t equal to t0 there is a impulse. After there is a small amount of delta t time gap, there will be another impulse. So in this way, between two successive impulse, the time gap is delta t, and the magnitude is represented by delta t minus tau. If I write tau is the amount of time shift of the impulse with reference to the time. So for t equal to t0, it is delta of t minus t0. For t equal to t1, it is delta of t minus t1. So for an arbitrary time instant tau within t0 to t1, we can represent the shifted impulse by delta of t minus tau. So if I take the product, that is the xt into delta of t minus tau, that gives us the area between the delta t and delta of t minus tau, two successive impulses where the time gap is amount of delta t, delta of capital T. So this infinitesimal area, if integrated over the time duration t0 to t1, that gives us the total shaded area as shown in the plot xt. So that is why that particular area xt into delta of t minus tau into delta t has been integrated from t0 to t1, and this mathematical representation shows the convolution relation between the original time varying signal and the impulse train. So that is why it is written xt convolution delta t. Convolution symbol is normally given by asterisk mark. Now here we will discuss about different types of systems. Normally systems refer to something which are having source and sink, such as a torch. Torch is having source as battery and sink as small bulb. So therefore source gives us the energy, and the bulb, which is sink, absorbs the energy. In between the source and sink, there is the existence of an electrical circuit. So any electronic system or electrical system must have a equivalent circuit to access to process the source and deliver it to sink. So such a system may be of many types depending on the type of the system. There are classifications. So here first we will discuss about the static and dynamic system. Later we will come to causal and non-causal system, linear and non-linear system, time invariant and variant system, stable and unstable systems. Now let us come first to the classification of the system based on the static and dynamic. Now what is static? Sometimes it may happen that input is given to the system based on the present input, the output is produced. So that type of system does not require any memory to store the previous input. So therefore, such a system is known as memoryless system or static system. Similarly, dynamic system is another system which might have the presence of memory within the circuit, which can store the previous input or previously processed signal. So such system produces the output depending on the present input along with the stored value of the previous inputs. So such an example is given as y of x of t minus 2 plus x of 2t. So 2t is nothing but the scaled timing, 2 times of the present time, and x of t minus 2 means it's a delayed input. Whereas in case of memoryless or static system, we are finding another example is given y equal to f of xt. That means the function of the present input shows the output. Now this is another classification of the system which is causal and non-causal. So what is causal system? Causal system is one in which the output is produced depending on the present or previous input or the combination of present and previous input, but the system does not depend on the future input or advance input. So such a system is known as causal system. Similarly, the non-causal system, obviously the opposite type of thing. Here the presence of the present input and previous input is okay, but along with it, it might have a dependency on the future or advance input. So this is a non-causal system which is an unreal system. This is another classification. It is the linear and non-linear system. Now what is linear system? Linear system states that if a certain type of input produces the output, another type of input produces output. Suppose x1t, x2t are the two inputs processed by the system produces the output y1t and y2t separately. Then if the algebraic summation of the weighted inputs, suppose a times x1t, b times x2t are added simultaneously to the system, they are not mixing with each other. Therefore, after processing the inputs at the output, we should get the weighted sum of corresponding outputs. That means x1t produces y1t, x2t produces y2t. So therefore, a times x1t should produce a time y1t at the output. Similarly, b times x2t should produce b times y2t at the output. So it should be a weighted sum of input produces weighted sum of output. Such a relation is known as the linear system, as well as it is also known as the superposition theorem. A system obeys superposition theorem is also a linear system because both are synonymous. And the opposite thing is that weighted sum of input, if does not produces weighted sum of output, some other things are related or present at the output, then it is known as non-linear system. Now here is another example, time invariant and time variant system. Now what does it mean? Let us come to time invariant system. Suppose xt is a signal which is applied to this system and it is producing yt. Suppose we are getting the delayed version of yt by t0 amount of time without delaying the input, so that we can represent y of t minus t0, right? Because once we are getting the output yt, we can delay it by certain amount of time. Now suppose x of t minus t0 is applied. That means xt is delayed first and then applied to the system. If it is producing the output which is same as the y of t minus t0, then we are telling the system is time invariant. Otherwise, the system is varying with respect to time. That means the delay in the input is producing the output which is something different than the previous output if delayed by t0 amount of time, that means the specific amount of time. Okay, so time invariant and variant systems are also another type of classification of the system. This is another important classification which is known as the stable and unstable system. Sometimes it may happen that the input is bounded within some limit, that is magnitudes and other parameters are bounded. So within a boundary condition, if the input is existing, therefore if that bounded input produces the output which is again bounded within certain limit, then it is known as the stable system. And if it happens that a system which is accepting bounded input but not producing the output which is bounded with specific condition, then it is known as the unstable system. LTI or linearly time invariant system is a type of system which must have the two quality, linearity or superposition theorem, as well as the time invariant property. So we already have discussed the linear system and time invariant system separately, and both the quality if present in a particular system, that means if the system obeys the superposition theorem and if the system obeys the time invariant property, then we can say it is a linear time invariant system. So for time domain, we are considering ut is the input signal, ht is the system function, and yt is the output. Therefore, the relation between the input and output is yt is equal to ut convolution ht. That is obvious because the system response is ht. Now, linearity means if ut is representing the input signal, there are two inputs we are considering, u1t and u2t, and corresponding outputs are y1t and y2t. Therefore, the weighted sum of input, that is a times u1t, b times u2t, produces a times y1t plus b times y2t. Then it is obeying the superposition theorem. That means the system is linear. And if the system shows the time invariant property, that means if the delayed input produces the output which is the normal output due to the input delayed by the same amount of time, therefore the system obeys the time invariant property. Therefore we can say the same system is time invariant also. Therefore it is a LTI system or linearly time invariant system. The basic elementary signals are also an important concept which has been discussed in signals and systems classes. So we are revising the same with some recapitulation, that is unit impulse signal delta t. Delta t is equal to 1 when t is equal to 0, and it is equal to 0 when t is not equal to 0. Unit step signal ut, which is equal to 1 if t is greater than 0. That means for a long time the input is 1 unity magnitude, but when the t is less than 0, when the system is off, at that time there is no input. Ramp signal means it is continuously upriding signal and it is having constant slope. It's a linear signal but constant slope. So RT equal to T means it is a 45-degree inclined signal. If it is not 45 degree, then also it is a ramp signal. Other examples are also available. But what happens? The slope is varying, but it is a linear, and it is obviously valid for t greater than 0, but for t less than 0, it is 0. Thereafter, exponential sequence, that is xt is equal to alpha t for all t. So here the exponential sequence might follow the exponential series for a particular signal. Sinusoidal signal is given by a magnitude, its frequency content as well as the phase content. Similar to the system, there are classifications of signal also exist, such as periodic and aperiodic signal, even symmetric and odd symmetric signal, energy and power signal, causal and non-causal signal, deterministic and random signals. So let us first discuss about the classification of signal based on the periodicity. So if a signal, we are obviously dealing with the electrical signal. So if an electrical quantity is varying its magnitude with respect to time continuously, and it is repeating the same magnitude after specific interval of time always in the time domain, then we are telling it is a periodic signal. So here a sinusoidal signal is given as example, and obviously xt must be equal to x of t plus capital T, where capital T is the time period, which is a fixed amount of interval of time. So cos of t plus 2 pi, sine of t plus 2 pi, these are the examples we know from the trigonometry, that 2 pi plus t means cos of t, sine of 2 pi plus t means sine of t, because the first quadrant signal repeats the same magnitude and polarity in the first quadrant. So that is why such an example is also the example of periodic signal. Aperiodic signals are signals which are not repeating the same magnitude after the same or equal interval of time. The examples are showing here are having variable magnitude with respect to time, so that is why it is not repeating. So an aperiodic or non-periodic signal changes constantly without exhibiting a pattern of or cycle that repeats over time. It has been proved by a Fourier transform that any aperiodic signal can be decomposed into an infinite number of periodic signals. So here is another classification of signal, that is even symmetric or odd symmetric. So this is another important category of signal, and the continuous time signal is said to be even when x of minus t is equal to x of t, and similarly the continuous time signal is said to be odd symmetric when the x of minus t is equal to minus of xt. So xt means it is representing a time varying electrical signal. So here an example is taken, xt is equal to e to the power minus 2t into cos t. So only thing to test this odd symmetry or even symmetry is that we have to put t equal to minus t, and what reflects on the right hand side we have to compare the same with x of t. So here the same thing what I told is maintained, that is replacing t with minus t in expressing of xt yields x of minus t is equal to something. Now if you see x of minus t is equal to minus of xt, then it is odd symmetric, and if x of minus t is again representing the same signal xt, then it is the even symmetric. So for even symmetry and odd symmetry, another expression is taken in terms of the exponential, that is x of et is equal to half of xt plus x of minus t, and x of odd t stands for half of xt minus of x of minus t. And similarly, the process has been carried out, and it is showing the hyperbolic representation of the signal. But the above equations, we should remember that whether it is even symmetric or odd symmetric, that depends on whether xt equal to x of minus t or xt is equal to minus of x of minus t. Another classification of signal is energy and power signal. If a signal is having constant energy, that means an aperiodic impulse. If we consider within a specific interval of time, it has a constant magnitude and it shows the constant amount of energy. So such an mathematical procedure, if we carry out, then we can easily find out whether it is having constant energy or whether it is having the constant average power. Depending on that, we can claim the signal is either energy signal or power signal. So similarly, the signals could be causal or non-causal, depending on whether xt equal to 0 for t less than 0 or not. So if xt is equal to 0 for t less than 0, the system is causal, and if it is not, it is a non-causal signal. Similarly, deterministic and random signal. Deterministic signal means if a signal is graphically plotted, or if it is analyzed mathematically, then it is known as deterministic signal. That means we can deal with the signal, it is having the finite number of maxima and minima. So that type of signal is deterministic. We can determine any mathematical parameter, we can represent it graphically. But when a signal is showing some statistical characteristics, we cannot predict this, we cannot plot it graphically. We cannot use the normal mathematics to represent, to calculate the signal. So at that time, a random signal it is termed, because it can be predicted depending on its behavior or statistical behavior with certain number of repetition of the experiment, which is showing the signal as an outcome of the experiment. So therefore, today we have reached the end of the slide. In the next class, we will continue with the continuous modulation system, that is the analog modulation system.